Welcome to a Friday edition of What the Truck. It is my first run, my first real run. My name is Malcolm Harris, and I'm super excited to welcome everybody to a Friday edition again of the show. I am so excited to be here. We have a special episode today. We're going to be joined by Chevron as well as Erin, who is going to be hitting the field. She sees what I did there in a few minutes. But before we get started, I would not be here without a key sponsor of ours. And I want to give a special thanks to our sponsor, Verizon Business. From the facility to the fleet, Verizon Business gives you real time visibility into your supply chain so you can keep on trucking ahead of demand and the competition. Learn more at verizon.com/distribution. Super excited about Verizon and all the things that they do for us here on What the Truck. And without further delay, I want to bring in a lady that is from Tampa, but also Houston. She is one of one, second to none. Erin Field. Erin, how are you doing?
Hey, Malcolm. Good morning and good afternoon to those joining us today. You're looking rather dapper.
Thank you so much. And you know why I'm looking dapper today is somebody on Twitter said, he has on a t-shirt and it's his first day. Who does he think he is? And I was like, well, I'm one of the best dressed men in the city of Chattanooga. I'm just giving myself that
Oh, for
title.
sure.
So I don't know who they thought they were talking to, but I had to bring my Sunday's best here on Friday for you, Erin. How are you?
I'm great. You're looking good.
Awesome,
Excited to
awesome.
chat with you guys today.
Well, we're ready to chat with you as well here in chat. And I'm excited. I mean, you've had such a dynamic career across, all different verticals: petroleum, medical devices, even power tools, right? And what kind of drew you initially into the energy space and now eventually here with Chevron?
Well, living in Houston, there's two major industries, medical and oil and gas. And I was just very fortunate to get an opportunity to join the Chevron team 10 years ago, which has been a really fun, great journey. I've been in a couple roles here at Chevron in our Americas products, so finished lubricants and fuels, and right now in renewable fuels. Luckily, across both of those segments of our business, I've been able to work with large national fleets, some global OEMs, and just excited to be in the renewable fuel space and really to be here today to tell you guys a lot about what Chevron has to offer that you may not know of.
Definitely. I mean, and you've been in, Chevron for nearly a decade. What's kept you
A
motivated and
decade next
excited?
week. Next
It's
week,
next
Malcolm.
week?
A decade.
A
Yeah.
decade. Well, happy early anniversary from me and everybody here at What the Truck.
Thank you.
Of course. What's kept you around for nearly a decade? That's no small feat.
I love working for Chevron. It's such a great company and great culture, but I really love what I do in working with customers and helping them find solutions. So Chevron is very uniquely positioned in what we have to offer, no matter what that journey is for that customer across all of our America's products. So it's been fun, it's been challenging, and it's been fun to watch the business change.
Definitely. Now, Chevron, we were kind of talking. I mean, it offers a suite of fuels from traditional diesel to renewable fuel options. Why would a fleet consider fuel options beyond diesel?
So we like to view fleets as going on they're going on a fuel journey a lot of times with the different types of fuels that are out there. Obviously, that includes petroleum diesel, which is a big part of our business that is definitely not going away. But it can also include renewable fuels such as biodiesel, renewable natural gas, hydrogen, and a bunch of different offerings. So traditionally, we work with companies that are looking to lower their life cycle carbon emissions, and that's why they're kind of looking towards the renewable fuel space.
So, say a company is interested in lower carbon intensity fuels. Where would they even start, Aaron?
That's a great question. Well, first, they need to look for a supplier that offers a variety of solutions. And that's one thing that does set Chevron apart and makes us unique. We offer high quality traditional products as well as renewable fuels. So our customers can then just be basically more flexible in what they're trying to do with their own personal goals or their fleet goals, or just basically to provide some alternatives. So we do have some direct replacement fuels for petroleum diesel. Renewable diesel and biodiesel is what's considered a drop-in fuel. And then we also, like I mentioned earlier, we have renewable natural gas, compressed natural gas, and hydrogen, which does require a different engine.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, looking at like business development and industry trends really fast, what are some of the biggest challenges and opportunities you see for businesses transitioning from this traditional fuel to more so renewable? What do you see there?
So I think a lot of it is it could be driven by the fleet itself or their customer. If they're looking to reduce their life cycle emissions, there are other solutions out there. And a great one is renewable natural gas, compressed natural gas. We've seen some really great technology changes in the last couple of years with offerings from the OEMs. And one of those specifically is the new Cummins 15-liter natural gas engine, the X15N. It's a big bore 15-liter engine, very comparable to diesel. We're fortunate that Cummins spent a lot of time in developing this engine. They took the learnings of the 12-liter and made some really great improvements so that this technology would have diesel-like power and torque.
So, looking at CNG and RNG, I mean, you're focused on renewable fuels, right? And of course, hydrogen as well. Can you kind of explain for our listeners how these fuels are helping reshape the energy and transportation landscape for us?
I think the biggest thing there is that it gives people options. It gives the fleet options, the end customer, or whoever they are driving for, opportunity and a way to just explore other alternative ways. And of course, again, if they're looking to reduce their life cycle emissions, these alternative fuels can do that.
So fascinating. And something else that was fascinating that you touched on our pre-show call, which I want you to get into, is the demo. Tell me all about
Yeah.
the demo program and what does this specifically offer folks?
This is something that Chevron is really excited about. We entered a partnership with Cummins and PACCAR to be able to put this new engine and truck in front of our fleets, in front of drivers, most importantly. So we actually have 3 demo trucks. It's a Peterbilt day cab that are running across the US with various fleets. And it's basically a try before you buy experience. There are some misconceptions or maybe some prior experiences on CNG that fleets and drivers may have, and we really want them to try this new engine to kind of get a feel for natural gas as well as the big bore natural gas engine that has the same diesel like power and torque, and just get it in their hands. So we've seen a lot of major fleets that have moved towards CNG in the last several years. Amazon, Pepsi, Frito-Lay, Walmart, Wegmans, you see those trucks going down the road. CNG is not as intimidating as some people may think. And so with this program, we think it'll really give people an opportunity to see how approachable CNG really is and how like for like the engine is compared to diesel.
Of course. Now, there are some misconceptions, right, when it comes to CNG and RNG
Yes.
fuel. And, I have some rapid fire questions that I want to get out here for you. And I'm putting you on the clock
Okay.
right now. So, does it take
Fire away.
longer?
Fire away.
Fire away. I got you. Does it take longer to refuel a CNG truck?
Typically, no. That's a
Okay.
great question. Our Chevron CNG stations are equipped with what you call fast fill pumps. So there's
Okay.
almost no difference in fuel time compared to fueling a diesel truck.
Hmm. Now, what are drivers saying exactly about CNG trucks after the demo? What are the reviews looking like?
So my favorite thing is actually driver feedback because they are not shy to give it. And what we keep hearing from drivers is after the demo is they're really happy that there's no diesel fuel smell and no fumes. There's little to no smell with CNG. The CNG doesn't get on your hands. It's also the biggest feedback we're getting is the truck runs so much smoother and quieter as you're accelerating and idling. So once they get behind that wheel, it's not intimidating and they're kind of surprised, honestly.
No, I mean that sounds surprising to me as well. But of course, you've kind of mentioned this as well when you were talking about torque a few minutes ago in a different segment. But does switching to CNG mean sacrificing that horsepower? You know what I'm talking about.
I do, and that is a very important thing for drivers. With the learnings of the 12-liter, Cummins made this engine be able to feature up to 500 horsepower, as well as 1,850 pounds per foot. So it's a big bore, heavy duty engine that doesn't sacrifice for power or torque.
Now, drivers, do they need to have any type of special safety equipment for this?
Nothing they don't already have in their truck.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. No, this is amazing. We talked, and I really want to just give you your flowers. Obviously, your anniversary is next week, 10 years at Chevron, but you've been in a leadership role for the majority of your career. I mean, 25 plus years that you've been doing this across multiple verticals, like we said. What advice do you have for a woman or even somebody just wanting to step into a leadership role like yours when it comes to energy as well as business development and have a career like you've had?
I would say do some good research and find a great company to work for, and don't be afraid of it. This is a wonderful industry to be in. I love being able to provide solutions to people and fleets across America, and it's great to work for a company that can do so. So I'd say don't be afraid and ask for what you want.
No, definitely, definitely. Originally Tampa girl, Tampa, Florida. I'm an Atlanta guy, so the Tampa Bay Bucks, they broke my heart this past week. That was a bummer, but you call Houston home, and
Hey,
I absolutely love Houston.
Baker Mayfield is on my fantasy team, so
Oh my God. He did what he had to do, and I was just thinking about Houston and the ecosystem. How has it shaped your career and perspective given the ecosystem in Houston?
I love being a Houstonian. I feel I can call myself that now because I've lived here for over 20 years, and there's a lot of opportunity in the city. It's a great place to raise a family. There's a lot of great culture, great food, as you know, that you and I've talked about, Malcolm. So
Oh yeah.
it's just a great place to live and be. So yeah.
So, Aaron, when you're not focused on fuels and business, which is hardly any amount of time, what keeps you energized and going outside of work?
I'm a big volunteer at heart. So I volunteer a lot with my kids' schools, my two boys. And then I'm also a longtime Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo volunteer. So I spend a lot of time outside of work doing work for others.
It's great. Now, Aaron, any parting words for our viewers and listeners about information where they can find you, more information about all the things that Chevron is doing, and the wonderful work you're doing as well?
Well, please hit me up on LinkedIn. Also, happy to drop my email address. If anyone is interested in learning more about our lower carbon solutions that we have to offer for fleets, happy to discuss this with you, as well as if you're interested in the demo truck program, please hit me up. My email is efield@chevron.com, and would love to connect with you guys and keep on trucking.
We're going to keep on trucking. We're going to keep on rocking. And Aaron, thank you so much for your time. You crushed this interview, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Malcolm. Have a great day and a great weekend.
You as well. Thank you so much. Y'all, that was Erin Field again with Chevron. Did a wonderful job, and just really appreciate her coming on to the show, talking all things about renewable fuels. And, this is an exciting time right now in supply chain and in logistics. And I know I have not been on the show since Monday, but a lot has happened. Looking right now, there was a container mishap that shut down the port of Long Beach Pier. And this happened, and it was early Tuesday after dozens of containers fell into the water from a docked vessel. So, y'all get this. It was a total of 67 containers that were floating in the water, while another 70 collapsed aboard the Portuguese flagged Mississippi, Coast Guard sector in Long Beach, which arrived Tuesday going to China. There was supposedly no injuries reported, but again, this was something that took place and was crazy. I've been in the international space and I've actually had shipments go awry. I've not had anything to this degree, but definitely something to keep our eyes on. And another thing to keep our eyes on is that President Trump has nominated rail consultant Closter to the STB. So looking at it, Richard Closter was originally appointed for an initial 5-year term as a member of the Surface Transportation Board and renominated current member Michelle Schultz. We've learned the nominations now go to the Senate for confirmation, although a timeline for confirmation is unknown. So again, these nominations, very, very important. So the board is going to be proposing, of course, this $85 billion acquisition of Norfolk Southern by Union Pacific, a deal that would create the first transcontinental railroad and transform the U.S. freight rail industry for years to come. So that's definitely something to take a look at as well. A story that really, really caught my eye was from Werner, of course, facing a social media storm over Kenyan drivers, right? So, looking at this story, according to a tweet from Werner Enterprises, they wanted to clarify that they are not involved in any agreements or discussions regarding the recruitment of Kenyan truck drivers to the United States. Any claims suggesting otherwise are just false. This was tweeted out earlier this week from their official social media accounts. From my seat, of course, we're going to get into an article that really kind of dives in to my stance. There's a bill, according to an article that dropped this week, that's going to target weight stations for trucker checks. So this is out of Washington this week. So new legislation is aiming to crack down on truck drivers, language skills, as well as different things that are happening on the highway in terms of weight stations, and turning these actual weight stations into English proficiency checkpoints. So you guys get this. Byron Donalds, representative from Florida, is essentially introducing the Way Act, and it's going to require that all weight stations along the interstate highways review CDLs of truckers for irregularities, end quote. So essentially, this is, according to a press release, is going to verify drivers' English language proficiency. So in my eyes, we just talked about that article from Kenya as well as this article from the other day when it came to this bill. It should be very simple. I think that if you are on the road in the United States, there needs to be verifiable evidence that English is a language that can be spoken proficiently. Due to signs, due to things that can happen on the road, this administration is really cracking down on things that are happening, incidents that have happened, and it is not a game. So I completely understand the stance that is being taken for something that is as severe and as monumental as this, right? I mean, because when you think about it, if there is an incident that has happened, which this has happened in the past, and there is a driver that does not, A, for one, have the right proper documents, or B, understand the native language to identify who they are, where they're from, what company they work for, that could be detrimental to insurance policies, that could be detrimental to overall companies. And oh, yeah, that could be detrimental to somebody's life. So, just thinking about it from that standpoint, I truly do support and understand this happening. And I think that, I don't want to speak for everybody. I'll speak for myself. I think you'd be naive if you don't feel the same way, simply for the fact that, safety is what drives this thing forward in terms of commerce, in terms of ensuring that things are delivered safely. And I understand opportunity should be available for everyone. I completely am on that bandwagon, 100%. However, what I don't condone, what I don't understand, is doing it without these checks and balances in play. So that's my 2 cents on this topic. And I know we will have a lot of different headlines next week. Speaking of next week, taking a look at what's to come, I'm super excited about the road ahead. On Monday, guys, we are going to have a phenomenal show. Jordan Spradling from the Pilot Company is going to be joining me here on What the Truck. We have one thing in common. Well, really two things in common. Both Vol for Lives, as we are looking to beat the Georgia Bulldogs this weekend. And also, we have Knoxville ties. Jordan is going to join me, and we're going to chat about all the things on Monday. And then Wednesday, I'm going to see a familiar face. She has been around for a number of years, and I think our listeners know who she is as well. But she is representing Repower. Her name is Heather Williams, and she is going to be coming on the show. It is Trucker Appreciation Week. Y'all, my voice just cracked right there. I'm sorry. It's Trucker Appreciation Week. And I thought, you know what? I should probably go to the source. And of course, there's going to be much more for Trucker Appreciation Week. I have a booking that is made that I can't give out quite yet, but just know that for my trucker audience out there, you guys are absolutely going to flip. And I think this is going to be one of the best episodes ever. And that is happening very, very soon. But I do want to show some attention and and take off my glasses because this is a topic that really got to me this week, and I don't want to be naive about where we're at as a nation and as a country. We lost someone significant this week, Mr. Charlie Kirk. We lost an influencer, but most importantly, someone lost a father, someone lost a husband. If you don't agree with what Charlie had to say, I completely understand. Did I agree with everything he said? Absolutely not. I'd be a liar to our audience to say that I did. But what I did agree with was the right to do what I'm doing right now, which is freedom of speech. What I did agree with is being able to have a debate, to be able to have dialogue, to be able to go home to your family, to be able to be a father, to be able to be a husband. And with that being said, whenever I think about this loss and this tragedy, this American tragedy, we here as a nation have to do a better job of being there for one another and supporting each other's beliefs and having a civil conversation. Violence will never be the answer. It will never be the answer because now somebody has to grow up without the father. Someone has to live their life without their spouse. So I want this clip to represent Charlie Kirk as a man of faith and specifically a man that was doing the best he could for his family and for his nation. So with that being said, please roll this clip.
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith.